Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. We are having a look at another new vehicle that is on the dev server for the next major update, and this one is the BF109 T2. Now, the T2 is actually really cool. I wish it wasn't a premium, to be honest, but hopefully that means the T1, whenever it's added, will be in the standard tech tree. But you can see it is right here at rank 2. It is one of the earlier BF109s that we have in the tech tree, and it's going to be a little GE premium. So what is the T2? The T2 is a navalized version of the BF109. It's based off of the BF109 E series. You can see here the E7, which looks incredibly similar to it, but there are slight differences that you'll be able to tell. So first one is the longer wings. This was obviously designed to be able to take off from carriers easier, and then also designed to be a little bit better in terms of what it's kind of going to be set up for. And the other thing that the T series had was it had some other kind of navalized components, because the whole point of this vehicle was it was going to be another vehicle supplied by the Luftwaffe to the Kriegsmarine, which would be designed for navalized combat, because you had the Graf Zeppelin being built and they needed planes on it. But guess what? They never finished the Graf Zeppelin, so all of the projects, such as the BF109T, the Ju-87T, which is another one which is kind of interesting, just never really came to be. And instead, the ones that were modified for naval combat, e.g. the BF109T1, then were given back to the Luftwaffe and converted back into normal fighters. So that's where the T2 comes from. That's why you don't see stuff like the arrestor hook or other parts of it that would have kind of made it into more of a carrier-based vehicle. So that pretty much means that this is just going to be a normal fighter in War Thunder itself. It doesn't have any of the cool gimmicks that the T-Series would have had. One of the bigger issues as well during the Second World War was the fact that your boy Goering, the guy who ran the Luftwaffe, Hermann Goering, was not really a fan of the plans of trying to create navalized vehicles, and didn't like the fact that he had to supply navalized vehicles to the Kriegsmarine. So he was kind of a bit of an asshole about it, and ended up making it harder for these types of vehicles to actually exist, which is why not a ton of them actually do. So if you compare the BF109T2 to the E7U2, which is a event premium, I think, from back in the day, or maybe a GE premium, it's pretty much exactly the same. They have exactly the same engines, so they both have the DB601Ns. The only difference in terms of it is the wings. They have the same armament in terms of the MGFFMs, and then also the 7.92mm MG17s. And then I suppose the secondary armament is where they also differ. So the BF109T2 gets the standard kind of BF109 secondary armaments, a 250 kilo bomb, 4 50 kilo bombs, and then also a 250 incendiary bomb, which also comes in, so you can kind of hit and torch stuff with that. The E2 does have also access to some stuff, but it gets a 250, and then also the 50s are spread out a little bit differently, and then the incendiary. So I'm guessing maybe they just forgot to update this in how it's kind of set up. So they have the same stuff, it's just set up a little bit differently. And then the other part, which is a little bit different of this, is technically its flight performance should be a little bit different. Modifications-wise, it's a premium, so you get all of this stuff for free. You don't have to worry about kind of setting it up. And as it uses the same weapons, you can have a look at like the BF109E3, for example, which will kind of show you what is around in terms of these types of vehicles and in terms of what's there for them and what you can kind of move on. But what you're getting out of this is a very, very similar vehicle to the early BF109s. And that to me is not a negative, because first of all, they have a beautifully updated cockpit, which looks really, really lovely from the inside and kind of gives you a show of how cramped these BF109s must have been to actually fly. And at the same time, with the extended wings, it will change your flight performance slightly to actually improve it in terms of how much the game actually plays nowadays, with more lower to mid kind of contributions around. And hopefully this can actually get some interesting camos. Being more of a navalized aircraft, even though it was, used by the Luftwaffe, it basically means that it could be open to some kind of semi-historical and also fictional camouflages that may look really nice on the machine. Never been a fan of the MGFFs, the 20mm. They don't hit very hard and also have a weird fire rate, but at least you have a lot of machine gun ammo to be able to use on the vehicle too. You also have these really cool things as well, which are indicators showing you how much ammo that you have, and they do actually move if you didn't know. So if you are a person who kind of likes little details, you have all of these little things here, which is actually super sick. So you even have your clock on the other side, and means that playing these things in simulator can be quite enjoyable. So yeah, the vehicle is here. I wish it was in the standard tech tree, because I would actually really look forward to playing this, but as a person who's played the game for a long time, there's not really much point in me picking this thing up. But for a newer player who's maybe trying to learn how the Bf-109s fly and doesn't want to play something like the E1, for example, it's not a bad little pick, because it has the slightly better engine and also at the same time has the 20mm, giving it a little bit more power in terms of use. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time.
I'd just like to thank GMG Smiley, CD Beans, Chieftain Mike, EMN3 Galaxy, Tulio Pontecorvo, Brendan Quinn, Carrion Crow, Gus Irenicus, Pyman, Wartinder, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, Martinez, B. Young, Ozzy Panzer, Alan Hacker, Liam Shear, Opium Prime, Lafouche, Sem, Aslan, Uncle Bean, and Derek R. for supporting the channel.